Alright, what's going on, you dogs? We're back with another Blokes On Blokes podcast, and you're gonna wanna watch this fucking one, because why? I'll tell you fucking why. I've got a bloke with me that took out 1.6 million fucking dollars in the period of 4 fucking months from National Australia Bank, right? He hit many brothels, he had a good fucking time, and this is a story you're gonna wanna fucking listen to, and this is fucking 100% legitimate. So strap yourselves in, hold on to your flatty barbs, and let's get into it. Oh, and another thing, I forgot the fucking bungs, hence why we're on the land in the boat. I know it's fucking weird, but the weirdest shit happens in the brothel, so just bear with me, you dog. So let's fucking go. Blokes on Blokes podcast. Well, is it a podcast? I don't know if it's a podcast. I'll just call it Blokes on Blokes, volume, whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, we got Dan. How are you, Dan?
G'day, Willem.
How you going?
Great to see you, mate.
Great to see you for the first time. I've never met Dan before. This is the first time I met him. He's a nice looking bloke, and Dan Saunders from the Byron Bay area, and he's sitting here with us, and I wanted to get Dan on especially because he's got a story like no other, and this is a story that I think everyone can go, what the actual fuck? You know, this is a story it's crazy. This is a fucking, and it's a story that if you would say to someone, hey, you know, would you do that? Or, you know, it's one of those sort of stories. So tell me, because I don't know much. Yeah. I want you to go deep inside your flatty hole, and I want you to give me the fucking details of this $1.6 million fiasco bender that you had within 4 months.
Yeah.
It seems fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really feel like it was me, actually, now. Like, it's, you know, I think it's coming out to, like, I think it happened 8 or 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been sort of writing a book with a guy, and you go back through, you know, like, because I've got all the statements and all that, those sort of things. So you go back through and you're like, I did what? I spent what, where? And
so you've actually got the bank statements showing you withdrawing these amounts.
That's the only sort of way I remember half the stuff that happened. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it seems like someone else did it now. So it doesn't seem like, you know, so life's a lot quieter.
Like, yeah, 8 or 9 years ago, you found a loophole on how to withdraw money from NAB Bank that you didn't even have the money in there to withdraw.
No, there was no money in the actual bank account. I mean, a few dollars at best. So basically, I worked it out. You could basically transfer as much money as you wanted to into your account from this credit card account that I had. So I had 2 accounts. I had savings account and a credit card account. Let's just like make it simple. There was like another flexi saver account as well, but you know, like just for the basis of, you know, explaining it, like, say there's a credit card account and a savings account. And what I did was I figured out that you could go to the ATM and transfer as much money as I wanted to, up to like 6 figures. So I could transfer 999,000 at a time over to my savings account from my credit card, basically. And I just worked it out just off the, you know, like I always loved sort of systems, and you know, sort of getting to the, you know, sort of the, you know, the nitty gritty of like different, you know, kind of loopholes and stuff like that. Yeah. So I guess like it was set up just for sort of someone like me to come along and like just figure it out. But I mean, it was I sort of like, I went through a period where I sort of, you know, felt like a bit, you know, sort of felt bad about it and whatever, and I started in the early times when I worked it out. I started sort of, I got myself into a hole with punting. So I started, you know, gambling and got myself into a bit of a hole. And then sort of realised I was trying to win the money back, sort of thing. So I was just...
Is this all while you're doing the so-called scam?
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, like I'm like, oh, I've spent 10 grand so far. I need to win back 10 grand. You know, so I sort of just kept going down the rabbit hole.
Getting deeper and deeper. But so did you have any, you know, past experience with anything like, I don't know what you would call it, but hacking or...
Nah, like, I mean, the only other, like, the only contact I had with police, like, up until, you know, this thing was, like, they came and told me my dad passed away when I was 15, you know what I mean? Like, there's, you know, like, I wasn't, you know...
You weren't known for anything?
No. I mean, I remember thinking to myself, oh, geez, that's a bit weird. You know, when I tried to transfer money from my accounts, I was like, you know, it said transaction cancelled and the card just came out. So I was like, oh, it must be some kind of glitch. And it turns out it was. And I was like, my thoughts at the time were like, well, it's a bank, so I'll just owe the money to the bank.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like I was taking money off someone in particular. And it was my card, so it said, you know, Dan Saunders on the card.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's just my debt. You know, anyway, so I just sort of, you know, kept going, and but yeah, obviously it's got way out of hand. Like it started off being, you know, a few bets here and there, like behind the bar, but I smashed, you know, like I think I smashed like probably 200 grand in one betting account.
Wow!
Like in the first month. Maybe.
So do you remember the first? Like, can you tell us the first time that you actually did it? That what was going? Where were you, and what was going on in your life? And you know, the excitement of, wow, holy shit! Did I just transfer this, and now I've got this? Like,
yeah, it was. So it was one night in Wangaratta, northeast Victoria. I was just I was working in a bar, and after the shift, we just went for a few flatty juices down at the
good old flatty juice.
Down at the you know, a place called it was called the Bull's Head.
Okay.
And we were just drinking, and I was just with another mate, and it was a guy there earlier, but he'd left, so I sort of ran out of money, and thought I'll just go to the ATM, get some cash. So I didn't have any cash in the savings account, and I didn't want to take it from the joint account because the missus would have gone crook. So I just tried to transfer some money from a credit card to my savings account. And anyway, it just said transaction cancelled, and the card came out. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Because it also wouldn't give me a balance on my account for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so then I put the card back in and tried to get 200 out, and it came out. So I was like, okay, the transfer must have worked.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. So then I went back to the bar and just had a couple more pints and whatever. And then I was sort of, you know, there's not much to do, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning at Wangaratta.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Tuesday night.
A couple of brothels.
Yeah, probably. So I basically walked past the same ATM on the, you know, it's like pissing with rain. The ATM sort of had an alcove. Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just sort of see what was going on with that. That was weird that it, you know, sort of like said transaction cancelled or whatever. So I thought, I'll just try it again. So I just tried it like for another 200, and then took that out, and then took like 500 and took that out.
Holy shit.
And 600. So I had two cards, see, so I had the credit card and also the savings account card, but they were both linked, you know, to each account. So I could get $1,000 off each card. Yeah. So that's what I did basically. So I went home with, you know, like close to 2 grand in my pocket. And then I woke up in the morning, I thought it was a dream, you know, I thought, oh fuck, it's just a, you know, bullshit dream. And I sort of, I woke up and the cash was in the wallet, and I was like, fucking hell, you know, like it's pretty crazy.
Did you check your bank?
Yeah, I like phone banking, you know, like all the statements I've got, it's just phone banking, like checking phone banking every 5 minutes. It was just like, all the statements, just phone banking inquiry. Yeah, so like, so basically after that, I was just like, well, I could, like, I'll pay the money back, or maybe I'll have a punt. So I was a bit of a punter. So I thought, no, I'll just have a punt. I'll try and, you know, I'll put a couple of grand on something.
So was this showing up on your statements, but that negative 2,000?
Yeah. So when I checked the bank balance in the morning, it was negative 2,000. Okay. So I was like, oh, well, I've got the 2,000. I'm just gonna have to pay it back. Like, probably right then and then I should have just gone, I'll just pay it back. But yeah, like I went, nah, I'll try and double it. You know, I don't know what it was, the punter in me or whatever said, hey, you know, you've got to try and double it, or, you know, do something with it. So I thought, oh, okay, all right. So then, I just got into a hole, and then I didn't really know what I discovered at that point. I just thought it was one time something happened, and, you know, and that was it.
Because what was your limit on your credit card?
So the limit was 2 grand on the credit card. Okay. So, you know, like I knew, like I thought maybe that first 200 was like in the credit card. Yeah. But like, you know, the 2 grand after that, obviously not.
That's right.
Was like, it would have been almost max.
Yeah.
Right. So like I was just working as a, you know, barman or whatever. Like I didn't have, you know, heaps of cash. So, I guess it was like a mixture of boredom, And like, I just didn't really have much direction in my life. I didn't really know where I was supposed to be or what I was supposed to do. And this thing just sort of came along, and I just, the sequence of events over the next sort of couple of weeks just sort of transpired in me going on this odyssey afterwards, like just this, but it was sort of a slow, I didn't really know what I had at the start. So I was just basically working it out. And then, so a couple of days later, I, went, oh shit, I've lost this, $2,000. I've got to try. So I'll try and transfer some more. Oh
my God. And it kept working.
And it kept working over and over again. See, I did it between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. At the same times, and it kept on working. The same thing, it just kept on spitting out the card saying transaction cancelled. But then I worked out that after 24 hours, the ATM would obviously realise that was a problem and reverse the transfer.
Okay.
So whatever transfers I made, they would get reversed 24 hours later.
Yeah.
But as long as I did another transfer before the original one
it'd go back to zero.
It'd go back to zero again. Or if you transferred more, then it'd look like you had more money in your account than you actually did.
Wow.
Now, I didn't get, I think the way it's reported in some newspapers and stuff, I think they're just, they're like their Chinese whispers, the media.
Yeah, okay.
So they never really got it right. But basically, I didn't get 1.6 million out of an ATM. I actually used the ATM to create money out of thin air that stuck in my account for 24 hours before, so I'd basically be able to spend whatever money I could. So I'd use the credit card, to pay for hotels and that sort of thing. And then I'd, then I'd be able to get cash out. I went into the branch and got cash out. I could walk into any National Australia Bank, Australia-wide, and just get $100,000 out.
You nervous?
Yeah.
Fucking heart racing?
Yeah, for sure.
Thinking that, if they're taking a bit too long at the counter or they walk away, you think, fuck, are they saying
all
something?
The time, because they've got to go back, they've got to check, they say, usually, these type of amounts are, you ring ahead and all that sort of shit, I didn't know any of that shit. I just
walking out for $100,000.
Yeah, but I sort of worked up to that. So, so I walked in and, tried to get, $1,000. And the lady behind the counter, I said, how much is in my account? And she's like, you've got 587,000.
Oh my fucking God.
And I'm like, okay, thanks. And then, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I went, fuck, this is exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Each day it was just like, it could happen, it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So I'd every time I wake up, I'd ring the phone banking and be like, yeah, we're on.
Yeah.
It's another day of, debauchery and good times.
And you had a partner at the time?
I did. So I had a fiance at the time.
Yeah.
Who, she was a local school religion teacher. So,
wow.
Yeah, she was it was a really nice lady. She'd never done anything wrong in her life, so she wasn't going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Basically what happened in those early days is I was working out what I could actually do.
Yeah.
So, and I decided, it was probably a part of it was greed as well, you know what I mean? But I wasn't really buying anything for me. I was just shouting piss and stuff.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I mean?
having a good time.
I was just saying, to everyone at the bar, just let's all have shots, and you know what I mean? So I think what happened there is, it's got around town that I've been shouting all these drinks.
Yeah.
And she's just send the text. Look, I don't know what you're into, but she must have thought I was dealing drugs or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what she thought.
Okay. Yeah.
But she sort of ended it via text, and then
wow.
And then one day, Wednesday night, we were punting really hard because I was trying to win this money back. I think I was $20,000 in the hole at this stage. So this is in the first couple of weeks. I really got into trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the spikes I would have given to I think I was gambling with Luxbet at the time, who were they were ringing me up saying, we'll give you a deposit bonus, this and that. After they smelt the cash, they were right onto it. They were
reeling you in, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what if this was fucking my own cash? You know what I mean? They just fucking raped the people. Anyway, so I was sitting there, punting, you know, with an account that previously, like, I'd been betting $100 or $200 a week maybe.
Yeah.
And then I was betting like 20 grand in a whole, you know, like in a whole week.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't know what you need to see some shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, it was sort of, I was punting at the TAB. So I used to work in a pub and I used to operate the tab as well.
Oh my fucking God.
So there was no one in there.
Punting and working.
And working, yeah.
And
So-
let me just ask one thing. Any big wins?
Oh yeah, like heaps of big wins,
Yeah.
but like fucking just backed up with unbelievably
Big
demoralising losses.
Big losses. Big losses.
Yeah.
And it just mind boggles me that how, you know, the banks are so secure and with the technology, and, you know, someone that has no experience with, you know, hacking into anything or can come across this and fucking just.
Banks have got no idea. They're not like the security departments aren't even talking to, you know, all the other people within the bank. Like people rang me from the bank, you know, like we can, like when we get further in the story, I can tell you about, you know, when the bank rang and what they said and, you know, all that kind of thing. But like the National Australia Bank has no clue about security, or like you can still do things with the National Australia Bank.
Hey?
Yeah, they got software problems there.
Well, stay tuned, guys, because we're all about to become a lot richer, and it's my shout at the brothel. Hey?
I'm out of the game. But
But that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There's still loopholes and gaps.
Yeah.
And you know, but you weren't planning on doing anything like this. It was just you come across it.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like you become a victim of it. You know what I mean? You had to go to jail for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is.
No, I had to go to jail. I mean, like back to the early times and the first couple of weeks. I mean, so I was punting heavily at the tab, right? Smashing bets, like, you know, $1,000 on Dapto Race 7 and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
crazy
like,
shit.
Just real, like, loose bets. Yeah, loose bets. Anyway, and that's quite often when you don't care, that's when you win the most, actually.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, I'm punting and I'm turning, I was actually winning, and I was turning over like more than the tab, like it's a little pub tab in Wangaratta. I was turned over more than the tab would turn over in a month on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So next day when I get in there, the tab's on the phone in a conference call, and they're going, oh, check the safe, check this, check that, because they think I'm just putting on the bets without the money. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, there's no way that the money's there, because this is just some loose operator going off tap, right? So anyway, they checked the safe, all the cash was there, whatever, and then they're like, and then they really calmed down once all the cash was there. That's all they give a fuck about. They don't care about the cash. So anyway, basically they said, oh look, this guy, he can't operate the TAB anymore. So then I had sort of no reason to stay in Wangaratta. So I got the chop, and at the end of the talk, you know, once the tab realised all the cash was there and all that, then they asked me, oh, do you think you've got a gambling problem? And I just said, well, you've got all your fucking money. Do you think I've got a fucking issue, or what's the, like fucking spare me. You've just fucking sacked me.
That's right.
Spare me. Fucking spare me. Anyway, so basically, then I had no girl, so I had no fiance.
Yeah.
I had no job. So then the only thing I did have that was going well in my life was this magic ATM card.
Yeah.
That it was just the gift that kept on
giving.
giving. It was a golden goose. Yeah.
Like,
so then from there I went to, like, so this is probably 3 weeks in from now, and I went to Melbourne and hooked up with some guys I used to work at the casino with.
Yeah.
And just started
the casino run.
Started a party. Yeah.
Oh, you had a party, did you?
Well, we just checked into the Crown Towers and really just started that, I don't know, like the step ladder towards the bigger spending. Yeah. Because like I wasn't doing much in Wangaratta. Wangaratta was classic. Like I was going to do the transfers at like 12 o'clock at night, so I was ringing a cab every night at 12. And the cabbies are going, what the fuck are you doing, mate? You're always down in the main street at 12. And I'm like, money's money, mate. Who gives a fuck? So I'd give him, like, for a $17 fare or whatever, I'd just give him $50. I'd just go, no worries, just keep the change, And as I did, because I was always like a waiter, and a barman. And I just started that when I was 18 because I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I was, like I just wasn't driven. I just didn't have the passion for a job in particular. So I just sort of, but you serve all kinds of arseholes, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So like giving massive tips was just, part of it. But, like in Wangaratta, it was like taxis and, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Once we got to the city, it was a bit different.
Big time, then.
Yeah.
You're in the big time.
But then, I didn't know it was going to, if it was going to end each day anyway.
Well, that's it. Like, how often would you be looking over your shoulder thinking, I'm going to get tapped on the shoulder in a second and that's it, I'm getting thrown inside.
Yeah.
Like, how long did this last? Like,
so it went on for like 4 months. Yeah.
So,
and the only reason it stopped is because I stopped.
No way.
Yeah.
You turned yourself in?
I didn't even turn myself... I did turn myself in, but they just took their sweet time. I mean, like this is... like I don't know how long you got, but I can tell you the whole story.
Tell us, fucking give it to me, feed it to me.
It was a long time ago, so it's actually, like I used to get quite, sort of, because obviously you go to jail and, there's all those memories there and all that sort of stuff, so it gets a bit, like hard, but now, I mean, it's, like I've done a little bit of work on myself and I'm, like sort of been able to talk about it more and it's, it's easier now, but I mean, so once I got to the city, I was, it was just a free for all. Yeah. It was absolute carnage, like going to strip clubs, order 10 bottles of champagne, like we used to get kicked out of clubs because all the people would be around us.
No way.
Because like just the money. Like it's not because of me or like
the money.
Because I'm awesome. It's just because the cash.
Yeah.
People just smell the money. They just love it. And it's when you're around that, it's hard not to get on that bandwagon. So
sure.
I was like, fuck. Well, you're doing the wrong thing, and you're gonna go to jail. Like it somewhere got to the point like between you've got to pay all this back. Now you're going to go to jail. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it flipped over.
Yeah.
So, it probably flipped over that time, I reckon, probably about a month in, where like seriously started to get like, 1.6 million in 4 months. It's like, it's like 10 grand a day or 12 grand a day. Like you got to give it a fair shake to be able to spend that kind of like, you feel like a fucking soccer star or something. Yeah. Like that's stupid money.
And women and blokes, let's talk escorts and what was going on, what was like drugs?
Oh, all sorts of shit. I mean, it was just a
cocaine everywhere.
Yeah.
Escorts.
Like, the whole thing was enough of a trip for me.
Like a movie.
So it felt like people were filming us because it's like how can a bank just be giving us this much money?
So you had your
mates
got
to be watching
with you.
Yeah.
Your mates were coming for the ride.
Yeah, they came along. Yeah.
No way.
Anyone could come, really. I mean, it was just, we'd meet people and then, like, we'd have people we didn't even know staying in the hotel rooms and shit. Oh, yeah, all the time.
Holy
it was just
shit.
Because that's the way I dealt with it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, you're doing some bad shit. You're going to go to jail. You better make some memories fucking now. Because if you don't, your only memory is going to be a cell. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And your mates knew what you were doing?
Yeah. Well, some of them. So 2 of them knew, and then a couple of others like just didn't want to know. Like a couple of people were like, no, don't want to know. And there was one guy who I've been friends with since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And he said, look, I don't want to see you like do yourself over like this.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be a part of it, but like you go and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got my blessing kind of thing. And I respected that. And we, the whole way along, I mean, it was like, I wasn't taking anyone down with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to be a hero or anything. I'm just saying like, I was like, let's just fucking enjoy this because, there's been some kind of gift given to us. And it's like, we're going to live the life that we never been able to live before.
Yeah.
We're gonna, actually, like be able to do this, do the stuff that you see on the movies.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, heaps of people tell me, like, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. Like find your own fucking ATM card and go for it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. You know, like there was no like drawn out plan here. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was just in the now and just, that's it. You know, so yeah, I mean, it was a trip, the whole thing.
Yeah, you could have got some high-end escorts, like the expensive ones, the hot bloke ones. Man.
Like sort of 10, 20 grand a night and that kind of stuff. Yep.
That stuff.
Well, I mean, that's all stuff, you know, like you got to, like, when you got a group of guys, you're not going to try and experience that kind of thing.
Fucking oath
it was fucking...
You're going to smash a shit, of course.
Absolutely.
And you're young. Yeah. It's like, that's the ultimate, like, you know, you could say to anyone, hey, what would you do what I did in the 4 months if you could have the chance to do it for one year's jail?
Yeah.
Sitting here now, I'll tell you straight up, fucking oath.
Yeah.
100%. I've never been in jail. I don't know what it's about, but I can tell you what, 4 months living like that, for a year's jail, hey, it seems pretty worth it to me.
Well, when you do the numbers, I mean, it's good when you do the numbers.
Well, of course. Well,
like, but that's what I said before. Like, you know, I didn't know that was the equation. You know, when I started, and almost, you know, like the hotels, the private jets, the fucking, you know, like the helicopters, like it was all great, and that makes up fucking shitloads of the story, but almost the story like started when it all stopped, when I sort of, you know, like when I said, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. You know, like it was people saying, what the fuck, why wouldn't you do it? You know, keep doing it, you know, you got to transfer money here, you got to fucking transfer money there. And I was like, yeah, well, fuck, we could do those things, but then I've got to stop. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's
it become addictive.
I'm going to fucking die.
Addictive, right?
Yeah.
You know,
like I feel like I'm lucky to actually be here, to be able to tell the tale, because it could have gone the other way.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, like, banks, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of banks. I consider them thieves. They really are.
Yeah.
Do you feel bad for doing it?
Not about the bank. I mean, especially since the Royal Commission into the Australian banks, like they didn't pick me up because they were too busy thieving themselves. You know, that's the reason they don't pick it up, because like they're doing the same shit. Yeah. You know, and there's no checks and balances at the bank. You know what I mean? Like, knowing what I know now about money and like how people, you know, created out of thin air, like they weren't doing, how can you miss, you know, like I think there was $5 million in my account at one point. You know what I mean? Like, how do you miss $5 million?
That doesn't make sense.
But to them, it's nothing. Nah. To them, it's like fairy dust. Yeah. Because they're in control of it all, right? So they've got everyone's account. They can, you know, they can say, oh, you know, charges, this and that. So, you know, even people that say to me, you know, like, oh, you know, the shareholders would have had to pay for, you know, like what you did and all that. Like 2 cents out of your dividend? Yeah, you know, exactly. Fucking, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would piss me off.
Yeah.
That really would piss me off. Yeah. But fuck, man, that's just such that's a ride. That could be a fucking movie. What I want to know is the story of, I want to know about jail for sure, but I also want to know about the day that you got caught, or that you turned yourself in, or whatever, what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so I'll start with the day that I stopped doing it. So, basically, if you stop doing the transfers, then the account just goes into fucking debit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, then all hell would have broken loose at the bank. Because the account had gone into debit a few times, like early on, like in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I knew what would happen.
Yeah.
Right? So, when it went into debit by like 20 grand, it got stopped for withdrawals. So that the account got stopped for withdrawals. But I just did another transfer. So
is this truck for fucking real? Fuck off. What a dog has come. There we go. Anyway, sorry, mate.
So basically, I worked out in the first sort of couple of weeks that if you didn't do the transfer, it'd go back into debit. Yep. So it'd go back into, you know, so say I'd spent 20 grand, it'd go 20 grand down. So when it went 20 grand down in my account, they actually, like, the computer or whatever puts a block.
Yeah.
So you can't withdraw any more money, because it's like an anomaly. It's weird, you know, like to have that much down. So then I transferred some more money the next night. I transferred some more money. So I transferred 40 grand. So it was 20 grand up. And then in the morning, I just rang the bank and I said, oh, there's a hold on my account. You know, like I was shitting myself when I was doing it.
Oh.
Like I wasn't like, I'm cool as a cucumber about it now. But at the time, I was like fucking, shaking on the phone. Like it was like when people talk about anxiety and shit, like, fuck, I know what they're talking about now. You know what I mean? Like that's some fucking heavy shit. Anyway.
What the hell? What the fuck was that? Just does a wheelie acting cool and fucks off. Okay.
Yeah, so basically it went into credit again by 20 grand. So I rang the bank up and they, this lady goes off for 5 minutes and it's the longest 5 minutes of your life, and then she goes, oh yeah, no worries, good to go. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So then I sort of figured out that that's what would happen, but like it's not going to happen with 1.6 million. They're not going to go, oh yeah, no worries, like we'll open it back up again. So anyway, when it went into debit by that much, obviously the shit hit the fan at the bank, and they've gone, what the fuck's going on here? And then I thought, well, I think I had like 80 grand in cash in like a Hilton laundry bag.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I checked myself into the Hilton and I put the cash in the bathtub, and I just thought, well, like if they're gonna come and get me, like they can come and get me at a nice joint, a 5-star hotel, So yeah, and that'll be the end.
Yeah.
Right. So then I lived there for like a month and nothing happened. Yeah.
Well, you just in the hotel for a month?
I was just in there for the month.
With the 80 grand?
Yeah, I thought for sure. Like, the 80 grand was whittling away, but I just kept on taking cash out of the bathtub each day. And I was like, fuck, they're not going to come and get me.
They ringing you?
Yeah, like the bank rang me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what's this going on with your account? And I said, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know. And they go like, oh, stay tuned, we're going to, come and get you, police investigation now, this and that. And I'm like, okay, no worries. And then, they sort of just, so then I rang them after like a month. I was like, fuck, what's going on with this shit? And I thought, oh, well, they're just getting all their eggs in a basket. They know where I am, whatever. I mean, so nothing happened. So then I called them and I'm like, oh, what's going on with this thing? And they're like, oh, put me on hold for like 20 minutes. And I speak to this stingray named Bernie.
Bernie?
Yeah, Bernie. And he says, he's kind of like the school principal.
Yeah.
He says, oh, you've been a bad boy.
Oh.
We're gonna, I think I actually said I was sorry, like fucking sorry. Sorry. Anyway, so I was like, well, what's going to go on now?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And he's like, oh, well, it's up to the police now. You've fucking, you've ruined your life and this and that. And I'm going, fucking, whose fucking life are you talking about? You know what I mean? You don't even know me, you cock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, all right, no worries. I'll just wait. I'll keep waiting.
Yeah.
So I went to sleep on a mate's couch for a while. I made a lot of friends. I lost a couple as well.
Yeah.
I lost a couple as well. I think a few ladies thought that we were going to get married because I bought like heaps of jewellery and shit for them.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Like I was spending up big. So I think they were like, I had to actually answer the phone and say, no, I'm not really rich anymore.
My God.
You know what I mean? Because they think that I was like,
yeah, you're rich.
Yeah, I'm rich.
You're fucking rich.
And they're gonna we're gonna get married one day. Like we're in so.
And good-looking women.
Yeah, like really.
Money-hungry women.
Yeah, really good-looking women. But the best women aren't good-looking.
No, of course not.
As like
it's the same for blokes.
Just to say,
it's the same. No, but it is true. It definitely is, but not in all cases.
No,
there definitely are. There'd be a small percentage of women that are actually 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That have morals and your what is it? Your soul. What's the word?
Yeah, like they've got a
soulmate. That's it. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, mate. Yeah, soulmate. No, but I definitely understand what you're saying. But you would have seen a lot of chicks coming by, and you know that. Oh wow, this chick's just here for the money.
Yeah, But I was there for the money.
Exactly.
So you can't, I can't turn around and say, oh fuck, like.
No.
I wasn't making any judgments. at that point. I mean, you know, like, but you knew that they were just there for the money, you know.
Did you ever have any male escorts?
Yeah, plenty.
No, really?
No, I didn't. I was in too much of a head fuck already to start exploring more of my sexuality, you know what I mean?
Like, was it nearly every day you would have been, you know, drunk or high or, you know?
But I mean, most of my thinking was about the scam.
Yeah, of course.
So I wasn't really, you know, like people would say to me, oh yeah, how you going? Like, we've met before. And I'd go, I don't know who the fuck this is. Like, I'd say to myself, like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, play along. But that used to happen with, like, guys, girls all the time. You know, like, because I didn't remember. I was thinking about, okay, tonight I've got to transfer 2 lots of 900,000 to make sure that I've got.
You're not negative.
I'm not negative.
And you're getting more.
And that's it. And then I had an alarm, right?
No way.
Yeah. I had an alarm that would go off.
Because if you fucking missed it.
That's right. If you miss it, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
You're gone.
So
right?
Between 12 and 1, it had to be done.
Yeah. So I used to say, you know, like, just bullshit, like, oh, it's morning in Hong Kong, I gotta go check the prices, you know, shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, I don't know what they fucking say, but you know what I mean? Like, just like that. And so, but you got the money, and you like, no one cares what you do.
No, of
everyone's
course
just like, oh yeah, you know, oh, no worries, yeah, all right, yeah. And you know, like, I remember I went into this place called Rockpool. It's like a high-end restaurant, because we worked, you know, in all these places that are like for the, you know, for the knobs, the hobnobs, you know. And so we went in there and we're like, oh, we're fucking ordering, you know, like bottle of fucking 1982 Chateau Haut-Briand and shit, you know, the stuff that's like $4,000 a bottle, you know, like, you know, and then sending champagne to the tables, you know, going, oh, it's from me, you know, you know what I mean, like shit, you know, like whatever, you know. And they'd sort of, you know, like, they'd sort of, you know, like, think, oh fuck, who's this?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they've never seen, you know, like, so you're talking about, like, in Sydney, you know, people who, you know, like, they frequent the restaurant a lot. They're going, who's this fucking asshole? Yeah. You know, like, and because I was buying a new Hugo Boss suit every day, and, you know, like, you know, like, looking the part, like the high roller proper, you know, like, just getting into it, you know, like I thought that they were gonna fucking handcuff me and drag me down any moment. I thought that's it, you know, like, oh, we're fucked now, you know. I'd go into, you know, a place like that and spend 20 grand, and I'd go, oh yeah, we're fucked now, like, you know what I mean, here we go. And we used to have this thing called I'll finish the Rockpool story. So basically, one night I was pissed, really pissed, and I'm just starting to fucking shout people's, like, whole tables. I'm just standing up at where the hostess is and just going, yeah, I'll pay for them. And just, I'll pay for them. And this lady comes up to me and she goes, oh, are you the richest guy in Australia? And I'm like, nah, fucking richest guy in Australia, no way. There's like Packer, and, you know, like, there's fucking Solomon Lou, and there's all these, you know. I'm like, oh, I'm probably about 7th. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, because it's just a fucking
You're playing the part, 100%.
That's right, I was playing the role, that's right. And it sounds like, you know, when people, you know, people say, oh, you know, you sound like you're a wanker. I fucking was a wanker, like, absolutely.
I don't think you sound like a wanker. It's just, mate, you're having a good time.
Mate, it was the fucking best thing ever.
Yeah, do you regret it? No,
like, that's the thing. Like, but it's not really the money. It wasn't the money. It was what the money can do. Yeah. Right? And the whole experience of, like, getting one over a bank. Like, you always hear these stories about, you know, fucking banks fucking people over. So to actually be on the other end.
Yeah, and you were doing the fucking.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was a bit of fun. It was like, you know, because those people, mate, they don't care about the normal people.
Of course not.
They don't give a fuck about the waiters, the people that work at Target. No. They don't care, mate. You know, so to sort of get one, you know, over them, and hopefully they've had a few fucking board meetings about it, you know what I mean? Like, but it hasn't touched the size. I mean, they're like, you know, they're fine. It's nothing to them.
They've got an unlimited amount of money.
That's right.
So, when you were in the hotel for a month and they never came, and then Stingray rang you and he's like, oh, you've been a bad boy, motherfucker, and you're like, whatever, man. And then you know, you went and crashed on your mate's lounge, and the money was running out.
Running out real fast, yeah.
How long? What happened now?
So I just got another job.
Oh wow! You
went back
started
to-
working.
Went back to work.
Get
yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You got to understand, it's not like I knew I was going to get 1.6 million, and it wasn't all in cash.
Yeah.
Like you could pay for shit. You know what I mean? Like transferred a bit of money here and there, but like on the whole, it wasn't. And this money as well, like any money I had, I didn't know that I could fucking keep it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I didn't, I wasn't advertising it. I wasn't going, I've got this here and this here. Like, I was just going, okay, that's there.
Yeah.
I'll just, whatever. So, so I went back to work and I was like, fucking hell, what's going to go on here? So I kept on calling the bank and I asked a few lawyers and the lawyers said, don't say anything, don't worry about it. And then another lawyer said, we can contact them for you and all this shit. And I'm just like, whatever. Fucking, you can't trust lawyers either.
Nah, you can't. You can't.
Like, I was talking to a lawyer once and it just ended up in the paper, like on page
Fuck
65.
off.
Yeah. Like the anonymous, like email or whatever, it's just like all there. I'm like,
It was fucking him.
Fuck you cunts, mate. You can't talk to anyone.
fucking him.
You can't talk to anyone.
Dog.
Anyway, and you can't Google this shit. You can't go, what do you do when you've, steamrolled a bank for 1.6? What do you do after that?
Yeah.
And they're not communicating.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What the fuck do you do? Anyway, so I just I thought, okay, they're just being slow and they're not going to get the money back. So that's their only game.
Yeah.
That's their only sort of, so they can just say to me, look, we're going to come and get you, but not quite yet.
Yeah.
And they seem to find great pleasure in that.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck, if they're going to come anyway, a good way to speed it along. And I don't know the motivation behind this. I'm not sure why. It's like a lot of other things I've done before, and there was no, point or rhyme or reason or anything like that. But I contacted the media, and I did.
Wow.
I did a story. I told them what I did. Like I told them what I did for a month.
Yeah.
And they did a story. They ran this story, and then I was like, that should kick things along a bit, because they said in the story, it's a police investigation now.
Yeah.
We can't talk to you. And I was like, okay, right. So it's some things are happening.
Yeah.
Right. So then nothing. Continue to work, whatever. I had a massive hangover period. I got real dark. I went to some real dark spots.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't fun.
Nah.
Yeah. But it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect to do some shit like that and not get,
Nah, well, that's it.
So it's, like it is what it is. But so I've gone to, so I went to work again, and then I thought, maybe I'll release a bit more of the story. Mm-hmm. So I was like, actually they haven't contacted me yet, but this is that, and same thing.
Yeah.
Police investigation. Can't talk, blah, blah, blah. Can you confirm it happened? Yes, it happened. So I'm like, this is very fucking weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. So I'm like, well, I guess they didn't really bank on the fact that I'm a bit loose and I'm a bit of a punter. Well, I was a bit of a punter. So I was sort of like, well, I'm going to call you bluff. You know what I mean? If you're going to keep saying that shit, like I'll just keep telling the story and then hopefully it'll come to a head sooner. Because I was a bit, I was a bit wrecked, to tell you the truth. I wanted it just to be over. So I wanted to know how much they knew, which turns out wasn't much. But I wanted to know. Yeah. So that's the only way I had to push. I couldn't ring them and have a normal conversation because they think they're too good.
Yeah.
So I had to do it through the media.
Yeah.
So, and then the media have their own, Chinese whispers going on and whatever. Anyway, so I just don't like explaining it because it sounds completely like...
No, you're right. It's all right.
Sounds like a madman. It's like, what the fuck did you do that for?
What did you do?
I don't even fucking know what you did that for.
Tell us!
Right, so anyway, so I went to like a current affair.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I'll do an interview like for you online, with my face and everything, but I just want you to like I want you to like actually just ask the bank, are you going to prosecute or not, or what are you going to do? Because this is sort of hanging over his head.
Yeah.
And anyway, they've done like a story with me for like the week. Met all the.
So you're on TV.
Yeah, met all the reenacted a bit of shit on the TV.
Oh wow.
Wore a fucking white robe and stuff in a hotel, and just had a bit of a laugh.
They pay you for this?
Nah, they didn't pay me.
Oh what?
Nah. I just went and did it. Yeah, I told you I'm fucking like there's something wrong. Anyway, right. So it came out the story, and then after the story, I learned that the only time, first they run the story, and then I'm like, okay, they sent me an email and they said, oh Dan, it was really great to meet. I still got the email. Dan, it was really great to meet you. Best of luck in the future, right? Some shit like that, right? This is a current affair. This is a producer from a current affair, whatever, like Tracy Grimshaw, all that shit.
Good luck in the future.
Yeah, good luck in the future, some shit like that, right? So anyway, then at the end of their interview they gave, and they I was just trying to say, look, I'm just one bloke, and I'm just, I just want to say the truth of what happened, so you can, the bank will do whatever they're going to do, right?
Yeah, you want it over and done.
So anyway, the story comes out, and they're like talking about it like it's the first time they've heard anything about it, exclusive, this and that.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's got Tracy Grimshaw going, oh, if you know where Dan is, call Crime Stoppers.
Are you
kidding? Like, what the fuck? Are these cunts alright? What's wrong with these people? Right? So you can just go.
So you're a wanted man.
You don't get any money. I don't ask for any money. Just go there, give them the story. That's what I'm figuring out about the media. I'm like, these fucking dogs. Yeah. They don't give a fuck about people, mate. They just do whatever. Yeah. I'm not even saying for me. Yeah. I'm just saying like in general. Yeah. You can't trust anything you fucking see on the media. Nah, it's all fucking spin, mate. It's all bullshit. Yeah. So anyway, she goes, oh, call Crime Stoppers if you've seen Dan.
Did you ring him?
They've just filmed with me for the week. I fucking struck up a friendship with the sound recorders. We've had a few beers.
No way.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, we don't know where Dan is. We've been trying to contact him. If you've seen him, call Crime Stoppers, right? No worries. I'm watching this as
holy shit.
Who are these cunts? You know what I mean? Like, and so this is like the protection. See the protection, the media, the bank. They're all in cahoots. Yeah, they're all together. You know what I mean? It's this big fucking oh, we'll get the barman from Wangaratta who's trying to get himself. You know what I mean? Like,
not even running.
It's a big fucking thing, right? So I'm just watching this report, just going, this is fucked. Anyway, whatever. Right? So the producer emails me again and says, oh, would you like to come and pick up your photos? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to come and pick up my photos. Fucking, what do I think's going to happen? Yeah. I want this fucking thing to end anyway. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So I go in there on the Thursday to collect the photos. I think it was Melbourne Cup Eve, they ran the story. And there was a horse in the Melbourne Cup called Who Shot the Barman. So it was like a bit of, like I went and had a bet on who shot the barman on the Tuesday. I think he ran third or something. Classic. Anyway, fuck. You know what I mean? Like it was just, it was like someone was still filming. Yeah. Someone's still going, oh yeah, fucking, up above, just pulling the strings. Like who shot the barman in the Melbourne Cup? Anyway, the barman fucking shot himself. Yeah. Anyway, so 2 days later, Oaks Day, I go to the Channel 9, headquarters in Docklands in Melbourne there, and she's waiting there with the photos, and then all the cameras come around the corner, like it's this thing. Like I didn't even take my phone. I knew what was going to happen, right? So they've all come around the corner. Daniel Saunders, detective, fucking, anyway, right? Arrested on camera, fucking
Slimy dogs,
Daily Mail, fucking. If they had fucking asked me, at least they could have got me to fucking go up the top of the Hilton or something and fucking acted like I was going to jump or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get dramatic about it, fucking idiots. Anyway, whatever. it was good to get the ending, like, you know, like some closure at least. You know, kind of a roundabout way to fucking do it. Anyway, so I'm arrested, and then I went to the cop shop, and they didn't even interview me. They didn't even put me in a room. They just put me in a cell, fingerprinted me, took the DNA, all that sort of stuff, and then just said, yeah, you'll have a court date. That's it. So
And let you go.
the people who they charged me.
Yeah, but
then they let me go. Yeah, like 2 hours.
no bail or nothing.
Oh, bail. Yeah, bail. I had to report like every day
Okay.
to surrender the passport and all that kind of shit. But yeah, so after that, I was like, okay, well, you know, like we've got, you know, some sort of court, and so then I went to see my lawyer for the first time, which I paid with a bit of the bank money. It was good, you know. It was nice of them to pick up the tab.
Yeah, for sure.
For that.
Yeah, thanks to NAB.
Yeah, good on you. Anyway, right, so I went to talk to the lawyer, and then I find out there that it hasn't been a police investigation ever
Shut the fuck up.
until a
current affair.
current affair executive producer, Grant Williams, rung his mate, a copper in New South Wales, and they've manufactured this thing, and now it's a police investigation. The guy who arrested me is like someone who works on a desk in Ringwood, like an outer suburb of Melbourne.
And it was his time to shine.
He didn't understand anything about. He didn't want to talk to me because he didn't know anything.
They didn't know.
He didn't know. He didn't know what questions to ask me because he didn't understand anything about it.
Are
Right?
you fucking...
So I find out it was only a police investigation. So I'm reading the papers going, oh, that's got to be true. That's a police investigation. But knowing what I know now about the media, I'm like, they're just bullshit. They just say whatever.
There was no...
There was no investigation until I actually went on camera and said, you know, that I did all this thing. Before that, it didn't even happen. No one was like doing anything about it.
Holy crap.
Right? So that was a bit of a head fuck, I must admit. So anyway, I'm like, well, you know, fuck. I kind of thought, well, you've done the wrong thing, and you sort of just, you deserve a bit of fucking punishment. You know, like you've done the wrong thing, but you know, like now knowing that, I'm like, fuck. You know, like.
But is it the wrong?
There's no fucking justice. Like I just used to think that way. I don't know, but there's just maybe I was naive, but there's just no fucking justice in the world.
Nah.
You know what I mean? There's no like looking at a courtroom and the way it operates. Like it's just a joke. I mean, there was a case before me one day, and I'll never forget it. I'll try and make it quick. But there's this fish and chip shop owner, right? And someone stole something from the fish and chip shop. It was like a fucking fridge or something, right? So anyway, it was witnessed by this worker nearby, right? So this prosecutor is saying, you know, oh, the barrister from around the corner, you know, was in the shop and knew about this, and the barrister has given testimony, and the barrister, right? And the judge goes, hang on a second, I'm confused. What are we talking about, a barrister? And he's like, oh, sorry, I mean barista, right? There's a fucking barista in the next shop, right? And this cock's fucking talking about, oh, the barrister was around the... Like, what the fuck? This is fucking like your tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're fucking... You know what I mean? So I'm watching that going, fucking, like, these guys just do whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, you know, so I went through the court process. Judge had no idea what I did. No idea at all. Just knew that I took some money. Had no idea. The NAB gave like a couple of statements as evidence. They actually played the current affair interview in court. That was like part of the evidence.
What?
This highly edited thing from the media was part of the evidence.
Yeah.
Right? But like at the time I was just like, well, fuck, it's you know, at least it's an ending. You know, it's the ending, you can start fresh now and whatever, and you're probably going to have to go to jail. I thought I might get 5 years. I was like, fucking hell. Because if they actually brought, like, what happened on the ATM to the courtroom, would have been, like, completely fucked. Like, you know, like, and the money, like, the real amount of money and all that sort of thing, like, it would have been fucking crazy. But they just, I mean, the bank didn't want to disclose their glitch. So it's almost like, well, we're not, going to say anything.
Get fucked.
Because it'll look poorly on us.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's it. And then, so they're just prepared to wipe 1.6 and go, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? So it just makes you wonder how many loopholes there are out there, and how many people have actually taken advantage of it.
Did you have to pay the money back?
Well, like I can't pay the money back.
No, but are they wanting that?
That's a lot of fucking hours, like
community service.
1950 an hour, mate. That's a lot of fucking hours.
Are they wanting the money back? Did they? Was that a part of the?
Look, it wasn't. No.
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 Get fucked.
No. Maybe you can't get blood out of stone.
You get a fine. You get a fine.
Yeah, I got a fine. like 250 grand or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 250 grand.
Yep.
Okay. Did you transfer any money offshore at bank accounts? Underground?
Fucking 100% no comment.
Maybe hit some money somewhere.
Mate, I've had a chat about things before and that didn't go well.
No, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I didn't, fuck mate. I'd like to sell you that, there's a villa in Spain with my name on it.
Oh yeah.
It's great. I mean, but whatever I say here,
no, your secret's safe with me.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
and
even
them,
if I tell you...
They won't tell it. You won't tell anyone, will you? You dogs. Yeah, you will. There's a few stingrays out there. But, so you went, you got done, what, they gave you a year?
Yeah, so they gave me a year. I thought I might get 5. But
yeah,
they gave
for sure.
me a year.
I might be looking at, I thought more.
Yeah. So the first 3 months was in max security.
Yeah.
At a place called Port Phillip Jail in Victoria. I remember there was this massive case on TV called the Hoddle Street Killing, or something, and this bloke did it named Julian Knight, and I remember about probably the first week I was in jail, and I was like, oh fuck, he looks familiar. You know what I mean?
Shut up.
Like, fucking hell, that bloke looks familiar. Like it was some sort of, I knew I didn't know him, but it was some sort of imprint from my childhood. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck, And then about a week after that, this bloke goes, oh, have you met Julian? And I'm like, oh no, not yet, right? And I'm like this, going, how you going, right? And I'm fucking I've twigged, and I've gone, fucking hell, you're the fucking Hoddle Street killer, you're the bloke that fucking murdered all those people that night. I really fucking want to be shaking your hand, you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, and then I was just like, how the fuck do you get in here? Yeah. For doing
what you did,
for pelvis thrashing an ATM.
Yeah.
How do you get inside?
You're with murderers.
Yeah, that's right.
And
what for? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to fucking prove a point, or? And then I thought to myself, I was just like, fucking hell, you fuck over a bank, and it's a different, you know what I mean? You're messing with the big boys.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I mean? They would have, someone would have had a hand in that.
Oh,
fucking, why wouldn't you just send me to fucking some B-grade bullshit prison in the country?
Yeah, low security, what are you
mean?
going to fucking steal the what's a common?
You know what I'm going to steal? Fucking,
commissary food.
Shit from the fucking tuck shop?
Yeah, the tuck shop.
You know what I mean?
But that's fucking insane. Yeah. That is a fucking crazy story, man.
But so I mean, in jail, people don't, you know how you you're on a night out and you're in the taxi line or whatever, and there's a bit of push and shove. There's no push and shove in jail. It's just fucking straight into it. Yeah. And they make knives out of whatever, and it's just fucking, it's hectic. I mean, if you get put, it's like Russian roulette. I'm a punter, or I was a punter, so I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was like, fuck, well, who's coming in tonight? Fucking who knows? You know what I mean? Who am I getting fucking locked up with tonight? And then they'd lock you in the cell, it was a 2-man cell, and they'd lock you in the cell, and so then you could be, interrupted. If there wasn't anyone with you, you could be interrupted in the middle of the night when they were processing people.
Get fucked.
So at 2 a.m, this fucking Maori walks in, fucking great guy, ended up being, awesome guy, but fucking huge, face tats the full bit. right? And he sits down and he says to me, "What are you in for, bro?" I'm like, I just took some money off a bank. He's like, "Oh, yeah, fucking right on." Yeah. And I'm like, "Fucking hell!" Like, but you know, like, I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like you might go, "Oh, you fucking idiot," you know? Like, snap. You know what I mean? I don't know. And there's no one's going to help you. Like, that happened a few times. You get a couple of shiners and stuff. You know, like at the start, they sort you. Like they go, "Oh yeah, he's this kind." You know, so they give you a bit of a, bit of a hiding.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, all right, yeah, okay, now we're you know, we're strapped in, we're ready to go. Anyway, so he goes, "Ask me what I'm in for, bro." And I'm like, "Hey, I don't mind, like, you know, it's all good. Let's just fucking keep it nice. We'll put the channel or TV, whichever TV you want, mate. It's no problem. We're Vice, whatever you fucking want, Viceland, whatever you want to fucking watch. I don't care." And he goes, "No, ask me." And I'm like, all right. What are you in for, bro?" He's like, "Murder on the dance floor, bro." Murder on the dance floor. I'm just like, fucking hell.
Is he being serious?
Nah, he's just joking around.
Oh,
like,
he's fucking
you know
with
that
you.
song? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Murder
yeah.
on the dance floor?
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
his joke.
Oh,
That's
okay,
his
sorry.
fucking joke. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know that moment like when you're fucking really scared and then you find out it's all good, so you're like, oh, you get that like that fucking, that warm, like, oh, beautiful. Yeah, we're fucking alright, okay. Yeah.
So what did he actually do?
I don't know.
Murder.
That was, what
Murder.
to have been? I don't know. Fuck.
Holy fuck, man,
Yeah.
that's an insane fucking story. That is fucking psycho. So, and then this was 9 years ago, and you've obviously moved on with your life, and you know, it's in the past now, but any regrets?
I do regret one thing. I probably regret my my mum coming to visit me in max security jail. Just because you've got to get, you know, like strip search sometimes, and you know, like you've got to wear the you know, the one piece sort of overall sort of thing, and you got to wear the handcuffs and stuff. So for her to sort of see, you know, like her son like that, I just saw her face, and I actually will never forget looking at her face. So I just I felt like you know, she said I didn't, but I felt like, you know, I really sort of let her down. But I think it was more, you know, it is quite a intense environment. So, you know, it's not, you know, look, she's never done anything wrong in her life, and, you know, she works as a childcare worker. So, you know, it was completely foreign to her.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, she was crying, a bit distraught and stuff. So I wasn't, particularly proud of that. But I mean, so, you know, you know, I mean, I think banks, it's the only way, you know, it doesn't make it right in any way. Like you know, like I can say, oh, you know, like it's, you know, like I shouldn't have done it or whatever. You know, like it doesn't make it right that I did it, but it seems like it's the only way to get these big dogs. You know, the only way to get them is to actually beat them at their own game. Yeah. Because they make the rules. Yeah. You know, so. Yeah, I mean, I was a bit on the fence at the start, but I was like, well, if you're gonna do it properly, and really, you know, like really have a crack at it, and go as hard as you can. But I mean, even when I stopped, I don't know if I could have kept going, or, you know, transferred more money overseas or anything like that. It could have stopped at any time anyway. It's not like I can say, oh, you could have got 10 million, or you could have, you know, done this. It's all fucking...
No, you could. And you think today there's still loopholes?
Oh, for sure. Like with banking software. Massive ones. Yeah, massive holes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That might be something for the powerfish to look into. Eh? Maybe we go 50-50.
Mate, we can fill up the boat with cash.
Oh, imagine that. Just drive straight into the D-Bar rock wall or something. I don't know. It'd be a great time. But, well, I think that story is very, very fucking crazy, and like I said, that could be a fucking movie. Like, it's crazy to think that actually happened. Out of nowhere, you just discovered this fucking glitch in the ATM, and you figured out, and you had to set your alarm between 12 and 1 to fucking get the money out, and then, like, for you to just work that out, just a normal dude has just come across this, and just an endless amount of money to play with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're lucky to still be alive.
Yeah.
Because you could have just seriously just, like fucking, what's it called? What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Destruction course.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Self-destruction.
Self-destruction. Yeah, because you got all this fucking money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then your mental health as well.
Yeah.
You know, what were you doing this?
I just tried to have as much fun as I could.
Yeah.
Like that was sort of the way that I got through it. You know, so I was just thinking about just having a great time. So, you know, literally, you know, like just the best of everything.
Yeah.
And whoever wanted to come could just come. You know, like if I saw, you know, like I'm not trying to like big note, but like stuff like, you know, like shouting a homeless bloke a night in the Four Seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just shit like that, just all the time, just fucking like, because I didn't care, it wasn't my money.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't have one of those brains where I just want to like accumulate so much stuff for myself. You know, like so I wasn't buying jet skis and you know what I mean. Like it was just. I just figured out what you could do. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. And maybe that's the reason I got away with it for so long. Because it was like, oh, this bloke's just coming to some money and he's just spending it. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's not really buying anything of value. So, you know, maybe we won't look into it, sort of thing.
Hell, that is absolutely fucking psycho. Well, I think that pretty much, that tells your story, Dan. Like, that's a fucking amazing story. I'm very, very happy to hear it. Because I haven't heard it before. Yeah. This is the first time he's actually told me the story. So I didn't even do any research or anything, you know, about it. I just wanted to hear it straight from the dog's mouth. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Stingray. No. But, you know, and to hear that is fucking psycho. And I would like to ask the question to all of you out there. Would you do it if you had the chance? 1.6 million, 4 months of fun for a year's jail? Could be a good time, but we'll never know.
Through the 4 months, I was spending up big on the ATM card. Some of the biggest stuff I bought was I bought a private jet to like somewhere near Bali for like 80 grand. I bought a lady, I said like, what's your dream? And she said, I want to go to France to study French. So I sent her and paid for the college and shit as well. Also, I bought a mate a ute for work because he needed some like, you know, some work, you know, like a work ute, and you know, just like stuff from Bunnings as well. I just did a massive spending spree in Bunnings. I bought like watches for people, like you know, basically what anyone wanted. I just, you know, sort of said, hey, you know, what do you want? I'll get it for you. You know, no strings attached, because yeah, it was like a way of getting, you know, like I was getting my head around it, and I probably felt better about stealing, or you know, like yeah, it just got me through it, I guess.
Yeah. What about you did the helicopters and the jet, and was there something else? I don't know.
Yeah, like penthouse suites and yeah, hotel rooms, helicopters, private jets, limousines everywhere. Yeah, just sort of, it just paid for everyone's dinner. Like if we went out to a restaurant, just paid for the whole restaurant's dinner. Went to nightclubs and just bought everyone drinks, and just had a really good time basically.
Yeah. How much do you reckon you could have spent at a nightclub like?
Oh, like I think the most I spent in at a nightclub was probably about 15,000-20,000. Yeah, it was a pretty good night. Sort of everyone just coming up to me and just saying, "Hey, can we have another drink?" You know, like yeah, it was just free money. So yeah.
And the homeless person, that was the last one you bought?
Yeah. So saw a guy on in a Pitt Street in Sydney, and walked past and he said, "Oh, you know, have you got a couple of dollars? I'm trying to scrape together for a room tonight." So I said to him, "Oh, well, we can do better than that, mate," and just gave him a night in the Hilton. And then afterwards, the next day, the duty manager called me from the Hilton, and he said, "Thanks very much for staying last night." And I said, "Oh, it was actually my friend who stayed." But he said, "Oh, yeah, thanks very much for staying last night, but there's actually a few things missing from the room." like a couple of robes and the kettle, and also the irons gone, and yeah, like I just remember thinking at the time, fuck, you know, you give this bloke a, you know, room for the night, and he fucking, you know, like sort of, you know, he takes the piss. But I guess that's just what I was doing. I was just taking the piss as well, just on a different level. So it's fair enough. Just a shout out to Benny Bremer down in Victoria, down in the south state. Just want to say the lockdown now is probably giving you the shits, but you're a massive fan of the power fish, and you can't wait to get out there and throw some chooks out for some 3 metre flatties. And he said he's going to pelvis thrash a ATM with you when he's down there.
But anyway, I would like to say thanks for watching, guys. Fuck NAB, they can suck a stingray's barb's cock deeper than fucking all fuck them dogs. Actually, fuck every bank. I'm with St. George, and hey, St. George, fuck you dogs. Yeah, fuck St. Yeah, fuck them all. I don't fucking like banks, I don't fucking dogs. Is that rude? It's pretty rude. That's pretty rude. But I don't care. Yeah, once again, thanks very much, Dan. I appreciate your story, man. I wish you the best. And, you know, if you really do come across any loopholes, let me know. I'm willing to do the time.
Yeah, nice.
For that bit of fun. So, you know, we don't have any sponsors or anything for the podcast or whatever. So this is just a little break, just to tell you guys that, you know, I'm a big advocate for mental health. And in this break space, I'd just like to include that, you know, if you or any of your mates are having a rough time, I advise you guys to speak up. It's not going to make it any worse. It's actually going to improve things a lot more. And these people riding past are really giving me the shits. But how you going, guys? So look, if you're having a rough time, speak up, guys. You're not alone. We're all in this together. We're going to put Lifeline's number here. They have a text number as well. It's great if you don't feel like calling. So you can swing them a text and work the next step up to giving them a call if you can. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and look after yourselves and your mate. I hope you all enjoyed it. Give it a like, give it a share, give it a fuck. Do whatever you need to fucking do. But hey, if you stay through the whole thing, you would have enjoyed the fucking story. It was worth hearing, very inspirational and very fucking crazy. And let's all find that flatty hole, and let's find that loophole, and let's get these ATMs, and let's take them for all they fucking got. And fuck off. Sometimes you win.